I'm glad my mom's back, but I want to ask a very serious question. I was wondering if I could go move in with the Harpers. Well, Penny, what about school? They can homeschool me. Because we got along so well and they love me so much. I went to church, I sang, I prayed, I did chores, and I was so happy, Mom, and I didn't have mean kids talking to me. Well, Penny, I know you love being there, and I think they loved having you, from what I can gather. They sent me pictures of you, and they told me about what you did every day. It's just, school is a fact of life, and yes, some people are homeschooled, but that's not going to be what's going to happen for you. You will be going to school, and you just have to learn how to make the best of it. That's not what I wanted to hear. I know, Penny, but it's life. We all have to do things whether we want to or not, and I know right now school is not your favorite thing to do, but that's the way it is. So we'll talk about that later. Well, I was going to confess something. I know you like it when I confess, but I'm not right now because I want to think about lots you just said. Well, okay. So I am going to say more. Penny will be thinking about that, and she's got something to confess. I didn't hear anything from the Harpers. You didn't tell me anything she did that was out of line.
She was very good.
Well, anyway. So what I want to talk to you about is a little something that happened when I was in Guatemala. And I've said before, one of the reasons why I love to be there is because the people that I meet have such wonderful ways of saying thank you. And even though they don't have a lot of money, they just know how to do it. A few years ago, I did a house blessing. And so I went through each of the houses. It was the house that PID, Partners in Development, had constructed. And so because I was there that week, they asked me to say prayers in the different rooms. And it was very nice. And then the next time I went to Guatemala, it wasn't even a year after, maybe 2, someone came up to me with a bottle of bottled water that you buy, you don't get it from the tap, and handed it to me. And I said, "What's this?" That's a gift because money isn't that free, even to buy water. And the answer was because you blessed our house a couple of years ago. So all this time they'd remembered and recognized and then bought something to say thank you. They don't buy the water themselves. They drink it from the tap. So it was a very nice gift. Well, this time I said, what else is there that I love about being in Guatemala? And it's something they do that I've noticed now, it seems to form a pattern. And that is, you remember when Jesus said, if someone asks you to go with you for a mile, go 2, do extra. And I realized in my interactions with people, that's what was going on. I would say to somebody, do you have a pencil in Spanish? And they'd say, here's a pencil. Do you need paper? So they would go one further. Or if you go to a restaurant, do you have soda? Yes, would you like ice? Well, this is the one that capped it, because I was buying souvenirs for you. And you've seen these before. I got you, you know what would be in here? Worry dolls. See, look at this. Little tiny worry dolls. And this is so that when you say your prayers at night, you tell God what's bothering you, why you want to be forgiven, why you want to be helped, anything you want to say to God, and then you put one of these little dolls under your pillow. And it's not a superstition. It's just like how some people like, do any of you like to sleep with stuffed animals?
Yes.
Yeah. You do? Yeah, well, it's kind of like, think of it like a stuffed animal. It's to give you comfort. And then when you wake up, if you've prayed to God, it should happen that you feel refreshed. And you know what? You had company under your pillow with those worries so that they're gone away. Yes, Max?
Like the tooth fairy.
Oh, you could think of it that way. So what I want to tell you is when I was buying these little worry dolls for you, the lady behind the counter said, "Would you like a bag?" And I said, "Sure." So I thought she was going to give me a little plastic bag, and if she didn't give me a little plastic bag, I thought she was going to give me a little paper bag. So I said, "Yeah, that would be fine." And instead, this is what she brought out. So I said, "How much?" Because I thought, this feels a little bit, I don't quite like the feel here, because I didn't want to buy a bag, I just wanted to buy these dolls. And then she said something which is so typical in Guatemala. She said, no, the bag costs nothing. This is for you. I said, really? Nothing? And she said, no, this is for you and the dolls. So I think that we can keep this bag here. Can the Sunday school use it? Yeah, for different things. And you know the story behind it. But I'm not going to let you go without giving you an assignment. You ready for this? I want you, after church is over, listen to the first request that you get. It could be from a parent. It could be anybody that's asking you to do something for them, okay? Like, say, it's, "Would you hand me that so-and-so?" And your assignment is to think of one thing more, okay? You understand that? So somebody says, "Would you get me that glass from the table?" And so you go and you get the glass and you say, "Would you like me to put some water in that glass?" Okay? You go one more. And that's what Jesus tells us to do. Jesus says, don't just go 1 mile, go 2. And you know what? You will find that that will make you so happy inside. And not only you, but it will surprise and make the person you're giving to very, very happy. So let's keep that in mind. How many of you are going to do that? Are you going to remember? Good. Let's see all the hands raised. Look at that. Yeah. And we'll see what that feels like. So let's say a word of prayer. Oh God, it really is fun to be able to give. And help us not to think of it just as a chore, as something that we have to do, but to think of the special joy that comes when we do something that doesn't have to be done. And so I would pray this afternoon that the children listen, that they listen carefully, not only for what they're asked to do, but for that little extra something that's special, that says, "I love you." Amen.